Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we are diving into a brand new government initiative that could completely flip the script on how generational wealth is built in America. We're going to break down the program itself and a really smart strategy that's designed to squeeze every last drop of potential out of it for your family.
So let's start with a story. It's about a global investor named Munawar Abadullah, whose financial advice for a long time was the kind of thing people just nodded along to at dinner parties. You know the type. For a decade, he was that annoying uncle trying to talk investment strategy while everyone else just wanted to pass the potatoes. Well, guess what? His big idea just became national policy. And you can see how this all unfolded right here. Back in 2015, this was a private tip for a few friends. Hey, open a custodial account, seed it with 10 grand. Fast forward to 2025, and now the government is giving every eligible kid a $1,000 seed. That jump from a private whisper to a public right is exactly why this is so huge.
So, to really get why this is such a game changer, we first have to take a look at the old system. You see, for a long time, building serious wealth for your kids was like trying to get into some exclusive club, complete with a velvet rope that was pretty much designed to keep most of us out.
For decades, these were the barriers to entry. You needed lawyers, which meant legal fees. You needed a hefty minimum deposit. We're talking $10,000, often more. And you had to navigate these really complex things like trust funds or UTMA accounts. That's the Uniform Transfers to Minors Act. The bottom line, the system basically locked the door on most working-class families, which goes a long way to explain why stock ownership in America has been stuck at just 38%.
And this chart, wow, it just lays it all out. It shows the complete demolition of those old walls. The users go from just the 1% to literally every American citizen. The setup goes from hiring lawyers to just being government-backed. And that $10,000 minimum? Gone. Replaced by a seed from the government. What used to be an exclusive privilege is now a universal right.
Okay, so let's get into the nitty-gritty of this new government initiative. Think of this as the spark. It's the government's part of the deal that gets the whole fire started for every single eligible family.
Now, it is really important to understand that this is not just another savings program. This is a foundational investment made directly by the U.S. Treasury for every eligible kid born in that specific 4-year window. It's basically a direct capital injection into the next generation.
And it all kicks off with this number, $1,000. Now, I know what you might be thinking. $1,000 isn't exactly life-changing money, but you gotta stop thinking like a consumer and start thinking like an investor. This isn't for buying groceries. This is the seed. This is the starting block where a whole financial future can grow from.
So that seed gets planted, and it's projected to grow at an annual rate of 10.5%. Now, of course, that's a projection. It's pretty optimistic. But according to the source material, it's based on the economic boom that's expected from American companies rolling out AI and robotics. This percentage right here, this is the mathematical engine that's going to power all the wealth creation we're about to see.
And this is where it gets really powerful. Thanks to the absolute magic of compound interest, that one-time $1,000 investment, if you just leave it alone, it's projected to become over $600,000 by the time your child retires. Let that sink in. This could mean a child's entire retirement is funded before they can even walk.
But look, the government's $1,000 is just the spark. Now we're going to explore what's called the Munawar multiplier. This is the strategy designed to pour gasoline on that spark and turn it into a raging bonfire, growing wealth way, way beyond just a simple retirement fund.
This strategy basically boils down to 4 key moves. It's all about shifting your mindset away from just spending and towards investing. It's about maximizing contributions from every possible source and even leveraging outside help. Think of this as the playbook for turning that retirement plan into a potential path to becoming a millionaire.
So how do you actually do this? Well, first, you max out your private contributions, which is up to $5,000 a year. Then you start crowdsourcing. Instead of another plastic toy for their birthday, you ask grandparents and godparents to chip in. The strategy also points to leveraging matching funds from foundations or billionaires. You combine all that with one strict rule, the no-touch rule, and you're going to accelerate that growth like crazy.
And here it is. This is the goal. This is the potential outcome if you really apply that multiplier strategy. By turning that government spark into a family-fueled bonfire, the math suggests that a child could have over $1 million in assets by the time they are just 28 years old. Imagine giving your kid that kind of a head start in life.
So this brings us to the really big idea, the core philosophy behind this entire initiative. You see, it's not just about giving a kid a nest egg. It's about fundamentally changing their entire relationship with the economy.
On the left, you see the way most of us operate, labor. You work for money. Your income is directly tied to the hours you put in. On the right, you have capital. That's where your money works for you, because your income comes from the assets you own. The whole point of this initiative is to shift the next generation from the left column to the right column, making them owners from day one.
This quote right here just nails it. It's a total shift in identity. This isn't just about handing a kid some money. It's about giving them a permanent financial safety net and a real direct stake in the system. They become people who actually benefit from economic growth, not just the workers who power it. Just imagine a generation that gets to choose careers based on passion, not just on paying the bills, because their foundation is already secure.
At the end of the day, here's why this matters. It takes this incredibly powerful financial tool, one that was locked away for the wealthy, and it democratizes it. It gives every single family, no matter where they're starting from, a real, concrete way to build a dynasty and provide a tangible safety net for their children.
So we're going to leave you with that thought. It's a question that goes way beyond just personal finance and into the future of our entire society. What happens? What does that world look like when an entire generation's retirement is basically taken care of from birth? How do our definitions of work, of wealth, and of security, how do they all change?